Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I want to give a shout out to my adopted HBCU, Clark Atlanta University. That is a school that I never attended. I don't even know that much about the school, but I know a lot of people who went there, and I actually joined the Alumni Association. I don't believe that you have to have attended an HBCU in order to support one. I would have loved to have attended HBCU. I even tried to teach at HBCUs, believe it or not, back in the day. And I have a whole video about that, telling that whole story. You can go look that up. I love HBC. I love the students at HBCUs, and I love a lot of the professors at HBCUs, but I don't always love the foundation of HBCUs or the way many of them operate. For example, many HBCUs were founded not by black people but by white people, and they were designed to train black people to go work for white people. Umar Johnson talks about this regularly, and this is the point where I definitely support him 100%. I think it's something that everybody needs to think about and talk about, because we have to really what's really happening here. And you know about the film that we have coming out in a couple months, Resurrecting Black Wall Street. We're actually doing a more extensive feature of the original short film we made before. And basically, part of what we have to do as a community is we have to resurrect a lot of our history. You know, as we're starting to be able to communicate, we're getting better access to information. We're better able to talk to each other. We're starting to really find out that a lot of the things that we've been taught over the years is to be quite frank, bullshit. And so, in order to do that, what you have to do is you have to literally take everything you've been taught, everything that you thought you knew, and just reverse it. You know, take the blue pill, they said to Neo back in the Matrix, and realize that you're entering into a whole new world, a world that is a little closer to the truth, a world that is a little more empowering for yourself. So, HBCUs, we can love the schools to a point, but remember the foundation was not exactly what we would like for it to be. And then also, many HBCU departments, especially in business schools and the sciences, have been taken over by people who aren't African American. I remember I interviewed at one HBCU, and they literally did not have one single African American male professor in the entire business school. That is sick. That's truly sick. I mean, that's no different. That's not much different from the way penitentiaries are run, right? Filled with black people, but yet you have overseers who are from other places, right? You have departments at HBCUs that are taken over by people from China and other places in India, and what they do is they do something that black folks don't do. They actually stick together. They hire their relatives, they hire their friends from back in China. But the funny thing is that you can't go to China and take over their business schools. They're not going to let you do that because they understand the importance of solidarity. So just keep that in mind. And I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but I thought that was important. But anyway, it's funny. I guess because I was thinking about Clark and how much I love Clark and support the school, and that's what made me think about HBCUs. But let me hop in here real quick and give a quick shout out to Justice Olu Stevens. Olu Stevens out of my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. I grew up as a Louisville Cardinal, and I have been watching this judge, and I want you to look him up. His name's OLU, and Justice Stevens is just he's very impressive. I mean, he's really taking courageous steps that very few people are willing to take. He's getting a lot of heat for it, and that's one of the reasons why I want to publicly give my support to him and ask you, look him up, shoot him an email, see if you can help him, see if you can support him, because when the heat gets hot, it gets real hot. He reminds me a lot of Paul Butler, the law professor at Georgetown, who told the truth about race on NPR, and he got a lot of heat back. Well, here's what Justice Olu Stevens did, which I thought was very powerful. He basically dismissed an entire jury because there were not enough black people on the jury. He basically just said, this jury is not reflective of the community, and I cannot, in good conscience, allow you to send somebody to prison with this all white jury. And what's interesting is, now, of course, the white folks went crazy. Oh, Lordy B, this is crazy. What is this Negro doing? This is our system. You're supposed to be working for us, right? You can't be the house Negro and rebel against the masses. So first thing they're trying to do is get him off the bench. They're filing suits. They're going to the Supreme Court. They're complaining in public and talking about him like he's some crazy radical. But really, he's actually probably the only person in their whole damn system that has any sense, the only person that can actually see the logical truth, which is that when you have all these all-white juries sending black people to prison, you basically have the makings of the American Holocaust. I mean, think about this. Remember during Nazi Germany, you have, let's say you have juries of Germans sending Jews to the the stoves, or to the concentration camps and the places that they sent Jews to. When we see it that way, we see how crazy it is. But in America, we somehow think that that white people only punish you if you are a bad person. That if you're black and you're a bad person, you'll get in trouble. But as long as you're well behaved, you'll be okay. But the thing is, what they do in the justice system is they just simply reshape what it means to be a bad person, and they make it more correlated, more connected with blackness. That's what they call criminalizing black behavior. Criminalizing your behavior means that I find something that you do more than me, and I make it the worst crime in the history of the world. And the things I do, I make it okay. Oh, he's young. He deserves another chance. It's not, it's blah blah blah. We don't want to punish him for life for what mistake he made as a teenager. But when it comes to us, it's like, that's terrible. If he didn't want to get 100 years in prison, he shouldn't have been caught with that gram of crack cocaine in his pocket, right? But imagine if black people had the power. Imagine if we suddenly said, well, you know what? Anybody caught underage drinking should go to prison for 85 years. About 80% of all white people will be in prison right now. If we have big juries full of black people, let's say black people didn't drink very much. We do drink less than whites. White people drink like crazy. They drink a lot of liquor. And it's a long tradition. In fact, I think in 1836, in the Ken Burns documentary, he mentions this. I think the average American drank the equivalent of maybe 40 bottles of whiskey a year. Maybe it was 50. It was some insane number. It was truly sick. And so what if we just made that criminal? If you get caught underage drinking, you're gonna go to prison for 80 years. And then just say, well, hey, if you didn't want to go to prison for 80 years, you should have been drinking underage. I mean, we all agree that that's wrong. So you deserve whatever you get because you broke the law. You see what I'm talking about? And then let's say that we had all the money and we made it so expensive to get justice that none of them could even get justice. See, that's the thing. What they do is they hold justice above the heads of black people. They make it so unaffordable. Like, first of all, you're more likely to end up in the system, and then when you're in the system, you're least likely to be able to pay your way out of the system. You see, white people, they don't even get harassed by the police. They don't have to deal with stop and frisk and police brutality and all these other things. Some of them do, but most of them don't. Poor whites, maybe in some occasions, but black people, for the most part, we kind of get lumped together. So we're more likely to have an interaction with the criminal justice system. Just being in the justice system, just coming close to a police officer is enough to get you killed and to get you incarcerated and to ruin your life. Even if you get out of the system, it's like catching Ebola and curing yourself. You're still never the same. A person who gets cured of Ebola still has internal issues for the rest of their life. Well, you get caught up in the criminal justice system, even if you win the trial. By the time you're done, your reputation has been ruined, especially if you've been accused of a horrible crime like rape or something like that. Your money is gone. Your finances are depleted. You probably lost your job. And if you took a plea, which is what they actually tell you to do, that's the thing. They take black people who've been accused and treat them like they're guilty by encouraging them, pushing them, forcing them, torturing them into taking the plea. Now, what kind of torture am I talking about? I'm talking about torture doesn't have to mean I hit you. Torture means I say, look, okay, you tell me you didn't do it. You tell me you wasn't there. You tell me that you're not the guy and all this other stuff. Okay, I believe you. But you know what? If you go and you demand your rights, if you demand a fair trial, if you win, we'll let you go. But if you lose, we're gonna get 80 years. You're gonna get 80 years in prison. But if you take this deal, you get 5 years in prison. Well, that's not really justice. I mean, that's not. I don't know what that is, but that certainly, at the very least, is a form of torture. It's a form of persecution. And so the thing is, we have to really see it for what it is. What white people do to us in the criminal justice system is one of the greatest human rights violations occurring in the world right now. The interesting thing is that only only people outside of America can really see it for what it is. People in America, we've been fed this shit about land of the free, home of the brave. This ain't no country for free or brave people. This is a country for a bunch of racist cowards for the most part. I mean, not everybody here is like that, but the fact is that there are a lot of people here, based on what they've done to black people, that really are every bit as bad as South Africa was during apartheid. So that's all I want to say. I'm going to let you go, but I want to tell you guys about Justice Olu Stevens, OLU. He's in Louisville, Kentucky. Happens to be my hometown, but I just happened to see the story, and I just want to applaud him and congratulate him for being a strong black man. And unfortunately, he might be like I was, the strong black man who ain't got no job. But you know what? He's such a brilliant guy and has such integrity. I know it's going to work out for him. Just like when I got in trouble in my job at Syracuse for doing what I thought was right. I was a little nervous about possibly being fired and stuff like that, but I just kept my feet moving. You got to keep your feet moving. You keep your feet moving. Like in that class I teach with Damon Dash, and it's funny. Damon Dash and I are kind of like the odd couple because people kind of didn't expect us to be teaching a class together. But what I love about him is he talks about making moves, and that's why our class is actually called or our program is called Intelligent Boss Moves, because just like in chess or in football or any assertive sport in life. Life is a sport where the assertive person, the aggressor, typically wins. And what does that mean? Being assertive means you keep making moves. Intelligent boss moves means that your moves are intelligent, that you are a boss, so you're strong and you're smart. You can't be strong and stupid. You can't be intelligent and weak. You have to be strong. You have to be smart, and then you make moves based on your analysis and based on your determined willingness to do what it takes to get what you want. If you do that, then typically everything works out. And so that's the philosophy I try to live by. You just make moves, stay smart, be strong, and don't be scared. Because these folks, your enemy is not going to go away anytime soon. They're not going to take their foot off your neck, and they're certainly not going to take their foot off your neck if you cry about it. You understand? The more you cry, the more they will press, and we can't allow that to happen. That's it. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. Big ups once again to Clark Atlanta University. I am gone. Peace.